Sleep is one of the most important tools for overall well-being and balance, and yet so many of us struggle to get enough of it or the right kind of sleep. From restless nights to groggy mornings, poor sleep can have a huge impact on our health, our mood, and of course, productivity. Today, we're joined by medical expert Dr. Darren Green to unpack the science of sleep and share practical ways to unlock better rest. How are you doing this afternoon, Doc?
Oh, fantastic. I love the topic you've chosen. Love it. Love it.
I'm sure you do. I mean, let's talk about what makes for good quality sleep, right? Because I think a lot of us get confused as to, okay, when we talk about good sleep, what are we talking about?
Yeah, you awake feeling like you weren't disturbed by anything. Yeah. No, I think to understand good sleep, sleep is like medicine. It's like eating good food. You need it for your body to actually maintain its basic survival strategies. But it's not just about surviving. It's about putting yourself in a good place so that you can be ready to do things that are creative, solve problems, and store wonderful information to give life your best shot. So sleep enables you to do that. How? By taking care of the day-to-day issues of maintenance in this meat box. And there are many systems, from the nerve system all the way through to the gut, that are dependent on sleep to do its job in terms of removing toxins from the body, but also helping you repair and get ready for the tasks at hand for the next day. So a good sleep allows you to do that. And, there's certain components of that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say that 8 hours is the ideal sleep. But I've learned that not everybody sleeps 8 hours.
Ask any mother of a newborn when last they've slept 8 hours straight a night. And they'll tell you, it's very seldom. So, getting 8 hours straight is not everyone's, it's not everyone's frame of reference. So between 7 and 9 hours is ideal. And there are certainly life phases and life occupations that alter your ability to get between 7 and 9 hours. It's not about the number, it's about the amount of sleep cycles. And a typical sleep cycle in our architecture of sleep, we need 4 to 5 cycles of sleep to get all the components of sleep that we need. On a scientific level, that means that REM, non-REM, deep sleep, light sleep, all those different things, you need 4 to 5 cycles. And a cycle's about an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And that's why we get to a figure of between 7 and 9 hours sleep a night.
Got you. So I've heard this concept of sleep hygiene.
Yes.
What is it?
So good sleep hygiene means what are the things that threaten and challenge your sleep, that give you shortened hours of sleep, and that also wake you up, and that give you poor quality sleep. So that means looking at the principles that help you withstand those threats. Simple things would be things like light, for example. Many people don't know that light, exposure to light while you're sleeping, has a major effect on the quality and the depth of sleep that you go into. Temperature of the room, for example. The activity levels and the degree of stimulation you have just before sleeping. Watching a Bruce Willis action movie just before bedtime, getting your heart rate pumping, might not be the best thing. Answering a heavy emotional email that you've just received at night just before bedtime gets the adrenaline pumping and the emotions and anxiety going. Not the best thing. So hygiene refers to what are the things we can address with good habits, choices, and planning that will give us the best chance at getting a good night's rest.
Now, diet-wise, are there things that I can eat or shouldn't eat like before I go to sleep?
Good question. So the first thing is don't eat too much. Big meals are bad for you before bedtime because you want to put your brain to sleep, but your poor gut carries on working overtime while you're trying to sleep. And it's working. And that means obviously increased blood supply to the stomach and the gut. It means absorption that needs to happen. It means feeling bloated, swollen, etc. as you get to bed. And then when you're turning, you're uncomfortable, for example. And also your core body temperature goes up when it's digesting food. So then you start sweating and feeling, oh, here comes menopause in the middle of the night. Meanwhile, it's just a big meal you ate before bedtime. And then your sugar levels go up. And when you know what happens when you give a child sugar, what happens? They bounce off the walls. They have so much energy. And that's what happens to us. Then you're filled with this energy just before bedtime. and now you want to actually rest.
Yeah.
So the diet's important. Things that do help, hot drinks, things like chamomile tea for soothing, relaxing things like that contain tryptophan, for example, that help you with serotonin and melatonin as they get broken down.
Yeah.
So you'll hear about drinks like Horlicks and that kind of thing, a hot drink before bedtime. Very, very useful, but obviously not caffeine-containing drinks that stimulate your nervous system.
Absolutely. That segues me into melatonin. A lot of people take supplements or use like homeopathic sort of, I don't know, serums and potions and things before they sleep.
To help.
Yes. Is that good for you?
Yeah, so melatonin is a natural substance that your body makes. There's a gland in the brain called the pineal gland, and it's controlled by the amount of light around you in the environment. So if you keep the light on while you sleep or bright lights around you and you don't wear an eye patch, the light goes through your eyelid, the light waves, and they stimulate the brain cells. And the poor pineal gland doesn't know when it's day or night. And that gland releases melatonin into the bloodstream, which helps you with what's called your sleep-wake cycle. In other words, your day-night cycles. So you need melatonin. So where that comes into play is when you're traveling and you're traveling time zones, 6 hours or more from east to west, for example, it's really difficult. Your poor brain is then confused. And then you have what's called jet lag.
Yes.
And that's where melatonin can also play quite a significant role. So naturally, your body makes its own melatonin. Eat the right food and it will do its job. But sometimes people supplement it because they feel that, it might add to a better experience in terms of their day-night awareness.
Very interesting. And then things like magnesium, does that also come into play here?
Yeah, so magnesium is one of the essential elements in the body that are used in multiple systems, including muscle. So muscle tone, tension in the neck, relaxation, even gut health when it comes to the movements of the gut. Magnesium is one of the essential trace elements in the body. So yes, it does contribute to overall well-being and definitely could make a difference.
Okay, so clearly, after our conversation, I'm rushing straight to the pharmacy to get myself a few
Or the
things.
natural foods that have got that in as well, you could try and get some of that.
Or that. Dr. Darren, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Well, quality sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for a healthier and happier life. By making small changes to your sleep habits, you can set yourself up for better rest and a more balanced and energized day. Don't go away, because after the break, we're catching up with the darling of social media and businesswoman, Nadia Jafta.